In the small, forgotten town of Franklin, there was a video game store that time seemed to have overlooked. Tucked away in a dusty corner, Mind Games was known for its vast collection of old games, many of which were rumored to be one of a kind. One autumn evening, a teenager named Jake, fascinated by urban legends, stumbled upon an old, unlabeled cartridge for a long discontinued console. The cover was a faded image of a mansion under a stormy sky, with the title barely legible, The Last Night. Excited by his find, Jake rushed home, eager to play. He plugged in the console, inserted the cartridge, and powered it on. The screen flickered to life with a static before settling on the game's title screen, which was eerily silent except for the distant sound of thunder. As Jake started playing, he found himself controlling a character who looked uncannily similar to him. The game was set in a sprawling, decrepit mansion filled with puzzles and shadowy figures that moved just out of sight. Each room he entered seemed to mirror rooms in his own house, down to the smallest detail. The game's atmosphere was oppressive, with a constant feeling of being watched. Jake's character could interact with objects, read letters, and even listen to recordings that told a chilling tale of a family cursed to relive their last night in the mansion, doomed by a pact with a malevolent entity. Hours passed, and Jake, now deeply engrossed, noticed something odd. The time in the game was exactly the same as the real world. As midnight approached in both, the game's narrative took a turn. The character was now being chased by a figure with no face, only darkness where eyes should be. Jake attempted to quit the game, but it failed. The console wouldn't turn off. His heart raced as he navigated his character through increasingly familiar corridors, realizing with horror that they were now exact replicas of his home. At the stroke of midnight, both in the game and on his clock, the faceless figure cornered Jake's character. On screen, the figure extended a shadowy hand, and the game's perspective shifted. Jake was no longer controlling his character. He was watching from the entity's viewpoint. A cold whisper filled the room. "You shouldn't have invited me in." The screen went black, but the game didn't end. Instead, Jake heard footsteps from his living room. Turning off the console was impossible. It was as if the game had become a portal. The next morning, Jake's parents found the console still on, the game paused on the title screen. Of Jake, there was no sign, only a note in his handwriting that read, "I'm in the game now. Don't play." Mind Games was found ransacked, with every copy of The Last Night missing, as if the game had never existed. But somewhere in the digital void, Jake plays on, forever trapped in a haunted video game where every night is his last.